Hey everyone, welcome to the Nathan Ross Rees Reformer Podcast. I'm here today with the amazing Stacey Smith, owner of Oh Hey Pilates out in Bendigo, about to undergo a huge expansion, incorporating new exercise offerings. And there's a whole bunch of other things I really want to unpack today, including, well, the story, your story, where you started, and briefly in a little bit of the reading that I've done. Uncovered a story about you kind of overcoming an injury, a back injury in the past, and I'm just fascinated to know how you did that. And yeah, so please, let's get started. Let's tell us about yourself.
So I'm Stacey. I am 40 years old. I live in regional Victoria in Bendigo. Um, I got into reformer Pilates. Well, literally fell into reformer Pilates. I was jumping on a trampoline. It was 11 years ago, and I fell incorrectly and I fractured my spine.
Oh,
Yep. So I have always been fit, really into my fitness growing up as well. And I was running, I was doing that high intensity interval training exercises. Um, then this accident happened. It was an absolute fluke. It was nothing exciting. I just bounced incorrectly on the trampoline and flipped over. And I was laying on the trampoline, and I remember thinking, okay, right, I'm in excruciating agony. Can I feel my legs? Can I feel my toes? I'll try and get up off this trampoline. And every time I went to get off the trampoline, my back would just spasm, like it was trying to hold something together, which it was. My husband was with me at the time. He just kept taking photos. So we've got all these photos and video of me just like saying, I think you need to get someone over here. Like, I was trying to stay cool, calm, collected. I think he thought I was overreacting. And a little 16-year-old employee came over because it was at one of those indoor trampoline centres. With the first aid kit, he came over and he's like, "Oh, do you need help, miss?" And I said, "Look, I really think you should call an ambulance. I think I've done some major damage here. I don't think it's just a strained muscle." The ambulance arrived and they could not get me off the trampoline because every time they stepped foot out onto the trampoline, it would move and therefore just make my back spasm. Obviously, it was holding that fracture in place, but at the time I didn't know. So I remember the ambos, they slid out on their stomachs onto the trampoline to cannulate me, to give me some muscle relaxant and some pain relief, to then therefore get me off the trampoline. Um, I was then taken to hospital, and at the hospital was told that it was just a muscular strain. I should just take some Panadol and rest, and they will come back in a couple of hours and just check on me. So I was left in the cubicle. I distinctly remember a nurse coming over and patting me on the shoulder and literally saying to me, "It's all right, Dal, we've all had back injuries. We've all had back pain before. You'll get there." Oh, I was like, this is not just muscular. I know in my heart that this is something more serious. Anyway, ended up staying there night because they couldn't get my pain under control. And the next morning, a physiotherapist came into the room to assess me because I had to be cleared by a physio to be sent home. And she just took one look at me trying to walk because they actually got me up out of the bed, were trying to walk me around the room. And she said, "Oh, have you had an x-ray?" And I said, "No, no one's actually even given me an x-ray." So she went to the treating team and said, "I think you need to give Stacey an x-ray." I went into the x-ray and came out of the x-ray, and within 2 minutes I was in the CT scan and I knew something was definitely wrong. I got back to my room and the doctors came in probably within 30 seconds of me getting back. The whole team rushed in and I was sitting upright in bed. I remember this. I was sitting upright, eating my lunch, thinking I was about to go home, and they said, "Lay flat. You're on spinal precautions. You've got a fractured L1 vertebrae. You're about 2 millimeters away from your spinal cord." Yeah. So very traumatizing. I laid that bed back as quick as I could and laid there flat. They moved me then to another hospital that treated spinal injuries, spinal trauma, and I ended up going and having surgery for the fracture. So I've got metal in my back from the above vertebrae to the vertebrae below. And from then I basically was in, it's called a Jewett brace. It holds everything in place. And I was in that 23 hours a day. I obviously lost a lot of conditioning because I was so fit and healthy beforehand to having to lay flat for majority of the day. I remember the first time I walked 50 meters. Like, I was so proud of myself for walking that 50 meters. And then slowly over time, I was going and seeing a physiotherapist, and they, after the brace came off, they said, "Have you ever heard of Reformer Pilates?" And I had at the time, so it was about 2016-ish. And it was just starting to take off a little bit, like the group reformer setting. So I had heard of it, but I didn't really know much about it. So the physio introduced me to the machine, and I thought, oh, what's that going to do? Like a couple of springs, like what am I going to lay down, get a bit of a stretch? And I remember leaving after doing, I only did, I think, 15 minutes the first time on there, and I was laying flat and thinking, oh my God, like that was amazing. Like, well, it was amazing to move my body again after all that time, because it was probably about 6 months later. And then the next day I was sore, and I was like, oh, I've done something here. And then as I kept going and the physio was showing me how we could progress the movements, and they only had to be like little progressions. So it was nothing like, it wasn't a massive jump from here to here. It was doable and it was achievable. I then was going 3 times a week to the physio, doing 45-minute sessions on the reformer. And I got to the point after about 6 months of being able, she said, right, you're graduating, you're going to go do some group classes now.
Wow.
So that was my introduction to Reformer Pilates. And that's how I fell in love with it. I stopped doing any sort of high intensity. I was getting what I wanted out of going to those group reformer classes 3 or 4 times a week. And yeah, I just became absolutely obsessed, like from that day. Yep.
Wow.
Mm.
It's incredible to have that comeback from being completely incapacitated to being fully functional again through reformer training.
Yes.
How's your back feel now? Like completely back to normal, good as gold?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yep. As long as I'm continually doing reformer or doing some sort of Pilates,
Yep.
it feels fantastic. So yeah, I've got no issues with it. I do need to make some time though, because it's the metal has to come out of my back. I do need to go get that done, but I'm so busy. That's the last of my worries at the moment. It's not causing me any issues. I've got no pain whatsoever, so it can just stay there. But I do need to make some time to go get it out now. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Awesome. So you became obsessed. You're doing 3-4 classes a week. At what point did you decide, I want to actually teach this?
So my background, I'm actually a registered nurse. So I was nursing at the time, and my passion for nursing was, I'd been 12 years of nursing and it was just starting to dwindle. I was finding that I got into nursing to help people, but with nursing it was becoming a little bit more, there was a lot of red tape, there was lots of documentation, there was hardly even time to sit down and just have a chat with a patient who might have just been diagnosed with cancer. And I was loving Reformer Pilates, and that was also helping people, but it was helping people in a different kind of way. And so it just kind of ticked all the boxes that's the direction I wanted to go into, because I was like, if that is how much it helped me in that situation, just imagine all these other situations that people are in.
Yep.
And how it can help them. So I'd actually just had my twins as well. And that was another thing. Postnatal Pilates, the Pilates after giving birth was absolutely amazing for me. So I was like, yep, this is it. We're going to do it. So I did my training with Breathe Education in 2019, I think it was, or 18, and taught in Melbourne for a couple of years before deciding to open a studio up in Bendigo.
Amazing. Shout out to Raf there.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, absolute legend. That's awesome. So, you had, was it in multiple locations in Melbourne you were teaching?
Yeah,
Oh,
I've taught at a few studios around Melbourne just to get a feel of what the scene was like here in Melbourne.
Mhm.
And every time I went back to Bendigo, there was only one or two studios at the time in Bendigo. This was all pre-COVID as well. And I just couldn't find what I was after. I was after something that was challenging, something where you were given just more than one spring option for the whole class, something that had a community feel to it. Like you weren't just another number. They knew your name. They knew your cat's name. So I just didn't have that in Bendigo. And we had decided to make the move back to Bendigo because of COVID to just be closer to family. And I said to my husband, can I open a studio? And he thought I was crazy and suggested, perhaps just in the garage, just have a machine in the garage and just do one-on-ones at the moment. I said, no, I need to do this. I'm going to do it proper. I'm going to do a group setting. So he finally said yes, and we made the move back to Bendigo and we did the fit out of Oh Hey Pilates, where we are now. In amongst all that, though, I fell pregnant. Just to add to the crazy. So I was actually pregnant during the fit out of the studio, and when we opened in June of 2021, my youngest, Ned, he was 7 weeks old.
Wow.
Wow. So we did it. I think a lot of people thought we were crazy and it was just not going to happen. But, yeah, I was determined. I was absolutely determined. I think I'm the kind of person that once I think of something and envision something, like I can bring that to life, and I'm going to bring it to life. So, Yep.
Wow. Man, there's a lot to celebrate there in that period of time. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome. So you had that experience in Melbourne, tried out different things, kind of realised that you wanted to move home. I definitely understand during that COVID period wanting to get out of the city and get back to being closer to family. And Bendigo is beautiful too, so like a little more open spaces and, nature. So how did you come up with the name Oh Hey Pilates?
I wanted to have something that had a community feel to it. And I think it's something my friendship group do a lot. We're like, oh, hey, when we see each other, like a greeting to each other. And we ran past, we had a whole list of potential names. I also wanted it, I could have called it just Bendigo Pilates, but I wanted it to be something that could possibly expand in the future as well. And so it wasn't just localized to one specific spot as well. So we did a short list of names, and then sort of ran them by everybody, got input off everyone, which is sometimes you should just go with what you think. You shouldn't ask other people's opinions. And we came up with the Oh Hey Pilates as just more of a community feel. It was friendly, inviting. Yeah.
It's a really fun name.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. And that location in 2021, that's the one that I saw originally, yep.
Yeah.
And then you started pressuring your husband to do other activities as well?
Yeah.
So was the next thing the coffee in the studio?
Yeah, so we opened the studio in 2021 in June, and we were going great. We actually, I think coming off the back of COVID really helped in that capacity, that people were wanting to get out. They were seeking movement, they were seeking community. It was something new. Bendigo at the time, like I said, only had one or two reformer studios. Bendigo's a small town. It doesn't take much for word to get around that, something's opening down the road, or have you heard, the Facebook groups go off. And I think that really helped us when we opened. And I started with, it was just myself and two other instructors, because I couldn't find instructors in Bendigo. There was no one, like I said, no one knew what Pilates really was in Bendigo. So I was teaching quite a lot of the classes myself, and had the two other instructors as well working for me. And as the timetable started to grow, because we needed more capacity for all the members that we were getting, we were noticing that a lot of the members were after class, because we had formed such a great little community, that they were like, oh, do you want to go get a coffee down the road at, whatever cafe? And I was like, oh, here's a little something I might like to bring in. And we had the space. So I went to my husband again, my poor husband. I really feel sorry for him with all my ideas. But I went to him and said, could we put a coffee shop in the studio so that people could order their coffee on the way in to Pilates, and the barista would have it ready for them at the end of class, perfect, timing. And he hummed and ahed and looked into it for me, bless him, and yes, we could. So we decided to do the coffee shop at the front of the studio, which has been an absolute amazing addition. I think it's really cultivated more community as well. People grab their coffees after class and they hang around in our reception area and they chat. So I find that really amazing. And also, like, people who might not be coming in for a class that day, they'll come in to get a coffee on their way to work, and they'll pop in and they'll still sit around and have a chat with the members and us. So yeah, it's definitely cultivated much more of a community within the Pilates setting. So yeah, it was a great idea. And yeah, thankful that my husband said yes to it.
It also looks awesome too. Like when because you got that part of the wall that opens up, basically the window, that you can also like order from outside as well, right?
Yep.
So it's like a proper little coffee location, literally in a studio. It's like you get all the best of everything, you know. You got the music pumping in the background, you got the smell of coffee, you got people like catching up, you know.
Yep.
And you're giving people so many opportunities to want to go there. Like it's pretty cool.
And our instructors love it because the baristas know their order. So they'll be teaching a class in the morning and the barista just brings in their coffee for them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's pretty good. A little incentive to work for us, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and then anyone who's doing a class directly after the coffee or during that coffee is going to feel the intensity go up a bit.
Yeah. We've actually had people like order their coffee, bring it into the reformer room and put it next to the reformer and sip on it like they're sipping water during class. I'm like, I don't know if that's a great idea. Like, your heart rate. But yeah, no, it's good. Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome. And other things that I've noticed, I noticed you created a Pilates planner. Yeah, what was the inspiration for that?
My many notebooks I've got years and years of notebooks of just scribbled down classes. I was trying to formulate some kind of way of being able to write down my class plan, and then obviously when I was starting teaching to visually be able to quickly glance over it and know what I was going to be cueing next. And I wanted something a little bit more structured so that you could easily quickly look at it and you could know what was coming, what springs were coming, what your progressions were. But even down to what studio you're teaching at, the setup as well of the room, so that everything was just there on one spot. And yeah, so I looked into doing that and came up with like a little idea, a little plan of what I wanted, and we tested it out a few times. I gave them to my instructors at the studio to test out, see what worked, what didn't work, and came up with the idea, like the end design, I suppose. It's also got a daily planner in there as well, so you can put in all your daily things that you're doing. It's got notes section. It's got a Instagram/TikTok inspiration section, so you can write down all your favourite social media content creators that you like, so you can just quickly flick to them, the list, and just look them up. And yeah, I think it's been super useful. The newer instructors absolutely love it. Like, the feedback I get from them is amazing about it. It's just the layout of the planner and just being able to quickly glance at it and see what you're up to next instead of trying to decipher what you've written. Or like, some people have a whiteboard or whatever they have, or in the notes section on their phone, instead of having to look at your phone, it's just there. Yep.
I think all that, the structure makes a big difference, particularly at a glance when you're trying to get an understanding of how the class is organised. When you can see like the spring levels and then the exercises that are on them, and then when the springs are changing, and like that just makes a big difference for sure.
Absolutely.
So I think that's a really cool idea. And it's funny because on my trips around the place in different locations, I've seen them randomly in different studios. That's really cool.
Yeah, we're selling them internationally. So they're all over the world. It's amazing. And I love the feedback we get. Everyone loves them. So it's so far so good. So we're going to try and bring them out in different colours the next lot. So always ask for people's feedback. What can we do better? Yep.
No, that's awesome. So now things are getting busy again. You mentioned just before we went on air that the Christmas holiday period really wasn't much of a holiday at all. You're just working straight through that.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a new location.
Mm.
So is it a new build or is it? Yeah.
Yeah, so basically a couple of years ago, every time I come down to Melbourne, I'm always in a studio, a Pilates studio of some description, just, checking it out. And I'd noticed this trend for hot mat Pilates. Like I've always been a lover of mat Pilates, but I was seeing these hot mat studios popping up everywhere. So I tried out a class and oh my God, I fell in love with it. I was just like, this is the best thing ever. And it wasn't something, Bendigo doesn't have it. And I also was noticing a real trend towards more of the longevity, I suppose, and the wellness in the fitness industry as well, like saunas and cold plunges and that sort of thing popping up everywhere in gyms especially. And the space that we are currently in, it just was not going to, we were at capacity. There was no room to grow. And so I sat down with my husband and I brought forward the idea of relocating the studio to a bigger space so that we could do reformer Pilates and then we could have another room where we could do hot mat Pilates, but we could also do a yoga and meditation classes and then also out the back somewhere have somewhere that we could do a wellness zone, so sauna and cold plunging.
Wow, cool.
Yeah, and then also on the cafe side of things as well, I wanted to expand that. We were just doing the coffee at that point. I wanted to bring it into having a smoothie bar with the ability to add some protein into that smoothie or collagen, doing acai bowls as well. So obviously we needed much more space for that to happen than just what we've got at the moment. So the decision was made to start looking for some commercial properties to lease and see what we could come up with. And it was probably about a year and a half ago, 6 months into it, we found the space that was ideal. And it's been a very long journey since then because it's a heritage listed building.
Oh,
it's
wow.
absolutely gorgeous. It's stunning. And it's a very well-known building in Bendigo too. But it is heritage listed, so there was lots of things that we had to jump through.
Did you have to change the use of the building?
Yes, yep. So change the permit use of the building and also obviously show the council what we were going to do with the building, that we couldn't touch some of the walls in there. So it was an old, back in the day, it's really cool history. It was an old carriage factory, so the horse and carriage.
Yep.
Yeah, and so when we were like doing the demolition on it, we were finding all these awesome like archways that have been bricked in, and it was really cool. So it's been a long process just to get the permits, just to get the tick of approval from council to start working. But we're finally started. When did we start? Probably about 6 months ago, the actual physical in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow, so you're just kind of uncovering history as you kind of redo this building. Do you know when it was built?
Early 1800s, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
Yeah, really old, quite an old building. Yep.
Wow.
Mm.
Yeah, that's going to be amazing. I mean, to have all those facilities in one place, it's like a dream, because you just hang out there all day.
Yeah. We wanted to create something that was like a third space, and I'm sorry to some of our members' husbands, but I think they're all going to be hanging out there all day. Like some of them have said, I'll just do a class and then chill here and not go home. I'm like, yep, that's fine. That's fine. So, we definitely wanted to have somewhere that you could, a third space that you could come, and it was more than just going in and doing Pilates and then leaving straight away. We wanted to still cultivate that community feeling, but even more so. Yeah.
So from your perspective, one thing that I was really excited, a big motivating factor for me about creating this podcast with you today was to get an insight into kind of regional Australia's timeline with Reformer Pilates and how it's kind of grown, because in previous episodes I had an episode with Raf and we were talking about how it started in Melbourne and how it's grown in Melbourne, but now it's like just continues to expand everywhere. So you mentioned that when you had the injury and you started to get back into rehabilitation, there was like 1 or 2 studios in Bendigo at the time. I'd imagine they were more clinical physio based. Was it maybe like 1 or 2 machines?
Yep.
So I reckon Bendigo would be a really good example of pretty much most country areas on how it's progressed so far. So, from your own experience, what's the story of Reformer Pilates growing in regional Australia?
Yeah, so it definitely started off in that more of a clinical setting at a physio, maybe for reformers doing your clinical reformer Pilates. There was a group reformer studio based within a gym as well, but apart from that, not much up there. I am now surrounded by studios everywhere. So I think there's 6, 7 maybe studios, group reformer studios in Bendigo at the moment. I feel like there's one popping up every single day. Like it's pretty, I feel like it's like almost the in thing to be doing at the moment is starting your own reformer studio. So it's definitely grown over 5 years. So I think that it's going to be very interesting to see where this scene leads to in the next 5-10 years. I'm very wary of like having that point of difference as well, so that we stand our grounds, and that is another reason of why we've expanded and going to relocate, so that like we have even more of a point of difference. But yeah, it's actually really interesting to see. Like I'm really intrigued to see where this is going to go in 5 or 10 years. So yeah.
Do you think it's already at capacity, or do you think? I mean, what's the population of Bendigo?
120,000.
Okay.
Yeah, and it is growing. It's definitely growing. It's still not large enough though to like all of the studios are central, like they're in the Bendigo Central District. We're starting to see like pockets of growth out of Bendigo, like in sort of suburbs that are just 20 minutes out of the Bendigo CBD. But I don't think it's quite big enough yet to be looking at doing a studio specifically in those pockets. I'm sure someone will though.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's heading that way, in the next 5 or 10 years. And I think that's the same as all the sort of bigger regional towns. Like, for example, in Geelong, that sort of just started off in the central business district, and now you see they've got studios everywhere around Geelong. So, it's going to be I'm very interested in watching what's going to happen. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, the expansion's exciting. It is it's it's a fascinating experiment, isn't it, to see how it will go? Because I don't know, I'd imagine at least everyone in Melbourne would say that for the last 5 years you would have thought we're at capacity every year, but then we're not. So
Yeah,
it just keeps you have upwards of 20 different franchises in one suburb, and it seems to be fine. So, I mean, 120,000 people is still a lot of people. So,
Yep.
And out of all those people, I'm imagining there's so many that would have never done reform before yet.
Yep.
So there's a lot of potential.
Yep.
But I feel like you're so well established there now, especially like the community aspect, that you'd have such a core group of clients that you'd just be absolutely fine in any situation.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, there's a studio for everyone.
Mm.
I'm not like, you have to come to my studio. I understand that everyone has different wants, different needs, financially, down to like what results they're after, what kind of Pilates they're chasing. And there's a studio for everyone, and that's fine. There's enough people to go around. So that's absolutely fine. If you want to come to me, come to me. But if you want to go somewhere else, that's completely fine as well. Yep.
Yep. So when you're looking at creating your experience, and you wanted to make it different to what was in Bendigo at the time, what was like the core thing you wanted it to be? So I think you said it was more than one spring option. There's a bit more of an athletic, dynamic feel.
Yep. Yeah, so we do more of a dynamic reformer Pilates. We have 4 different style classes as well, but all of those class styles are suited for beginner to our advanced clients. So you're not just like going to an intermediate class or an advanced class. We do have advanced classes, or a beginner level class. My instructors, we educate them on how to like teach the bodies in the room, basically, so that they are teaching someone who's absolutely brand new, hasn't exercised for 15 years, maybe just come back after having a baby, So that person's in the room, and then you might have someone who has been coming to us since we opened the doors from day dot, and they are like super duper impressive, like Pilates pro, and they want a challenge as well. So our class styles are run so that everyone, all spectrums of people, all bodies in the room are going to find a challenge that's suitable for them, basically. Yep.
Yep. So it's like a leveled system.
Yep.
Yep. Using the springs and the exercises based on the
Progressions.
challenge.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. It's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always good to be able to look after everyone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what I found. Like when before we had opened, it was kind of just like a one level for everyone. Like you were at this level, or if you wanted to do your intermediate class, you had to go, or advanced class, you had to go to those specific classes. Which kind of like, if you couldn't make that time slot or that day, like what do? You got to go to the beginner class then, and then that's not challenging you enough, so you're going to leave. Like so, yeah. Yep.
Yep.
Mm.
Yep. Yeah. Well, incorporating the hot mat, I mean, that's just gone off like crazy in Melbourne. So I imagine, especially in winter out there, it's just going to be like like lines at the door to get in. Like
Yeah.
it's going to be epic.
I know. I was like, I don't know why we're opening, because we're going to probably open in a couple of weeks, being dead set like in the middle of summer. And it's hot up there. Like I think next week we're going to hit 44 degrees. So I don't know. I might have to bring in some limitations. Like we might just turn off the heat panels for those really hot days. But yeah, it'll be, I could imagine in winter when it's freezing, like it gets cold there. So it'll be very, hot commodity to want to get into those classes in winter. Yep. Yeah.
So it sounds like you've kept a pretty busy schedule for your husband throughout the years.
Yeah.
So when's he going to get some time off, do you reckon?
Well, I gave him Christmas Day off, so he will have a little break after this, I think. So he's a builder as well. So this is why he's basically project managed every single build we've done. So the original studio, then the coffee shop, and now this studio. And I'll let him have a break after. But I think his mum wants like a new carport or something, so he'll be over there next. But yeah. So he'll have a little break. But I do have grand plans, so I just need to get this one going first. But I have been approached many times especially in probably the last 12 to 18 months, by people saying, like, how do I buy into this? Like, how can I be a part of this? So that's for future me to worry about at the moment. I'm just trying to get the doors open of this location first. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah. Well, how can people get in touch with you if they're excited about future you and those opportunities?
Yeah, they can DM me on Instagram, email me. Definitely. Yeah, I'd love to hear from people who would be interested in that. Yep.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah, it's amazing to see the progression, particularly business. It's like everything's get combined together, like the personal side of it, the business side of it, and it does take guts and courage to make these kind of decisions and go for it, because it's a big investment initially, and there is no certainty 100% whether it's going to work. You just have to have that faith, particularly if you're going to go for like something challenging like restoring an older building. And all the council stuff that takes ages to do. So it's really, really cool. So I've been kind of watching from the sidelines, being like, good on you, like it's exciting to see.
Yeah. It's I just think you've only got one life. Why not? Like, I feel like if you just play it safe in life, are you going to get to the end of your life and think you've done like all you could do? I'm really big on just do it. Just see what sticks, see what works, just do it, put it out there. So, yeah, I'm very big on that.
Nice. Where did that philosophy come from?
I think it's a lot to do with my years of nursing, and I worked in a bit of palliative care as well in those years, and it's interesting. I do love talking to the older generation and just asking them, like, I always, joke around with it. We used to say, like, oh, what made you live this long? Or, like, what do you wish you could have done differently? It's a good conversation to have. And I just didn't want to be that person at the end of their life and say, oh, I wish I had done that. Like, why didn't I do it? Was it, because I cared what people thought of me, or I was just too nervous? I was worried about what might happen if it failed. Like, I just think that's a silly way of thinking about life. Just do it. Just go ahead, do it. If you can, just do it. and it's all a learning curve, isn't it? So, yep, and at least then you can say you tried.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm.
Well, I suppose there's nothing more authentic than a conversation with someone who's basically had their time and is looking back. Like that's pretty. Would you say that's a fairly common feeling that a lot of the people that, or many people in that age demographic have? Like they look back at life and there's things they feel like
Regrets.
Yeah.
Yep, lots of regrets. Yep. Yep. So
Were the regrets for things that they did or didn't do?
it's mostly that they didn't do, the chances that they didn't take, or they were comfortable and they stayed with that comfort and they didn't push themselves to move outside that comfort zone. Yep. Yep.
Cool.
Mm.
Yeah, well, you're definitely staying uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So that's
Very uncomfortable. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty amazing. The obviously now when you're expanding and there's more studios, so how are you finding the process of getting instructors? Are you kind of like developing them yourself now? Are you picking your best clients? Yep.
Yeah, so I'll just like tap someone on the shoulder and just put it in their minds, like plant a little seed to say like, I think you'd be a really good instructor. So I think 90% of our instructors have been members with us first. I find it's easier in a way if they've been a member because they know the community, they know the culture of the studio, they know the way that we like to do our class planning and programming. It's just so much easier to do it that way than actually bring someone in from the outside, and especially if they've been trained a certain way to like retrain their way of thinking about certain things. So just tap people on the shoulders and just plant the seed, and usually it takes a good 6-12 months. They go away, they think about it, they come back, they have a chat to me. Yeah, all right, I'll have a think about it. They think about it again, and I just but eventually they'll say, yep, let's do this. So it might not be the right time in their life. They might have other things on. They might be doing studies in some other area. So yeah, but I find that our best instructors have been members with us previously. Yep, absolutely, 100%. Yep.
Yeah, homegrown's the best.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, and do you have like an onboarding process for them?
Yeah, so this is something we developed probably about 18 months ago as we started to expand the team. Actually had an induction day yesterday and training day with all the instructors. And we have an onboarding process where we have a full day and we go over everything. I had the biggest headache at the end of the day yesterday, but it's a lot to take in, but we go over absolutely everything. So that's their first step. We talk about like the values and the vision of the studio, the history of the studio, where the studio is heading. We also just talk about what their role is as an instructor, because I think a lot of them come on thinking that I just teach classes. I'm like, sorry, that's not it. I chose you, like I tapped you on the shoulder, not because you're amazing at Pilates or you can do snake amazing. Like it's mostly your personality that has attracted me to think that you would be good, because I think personality is huge in the industry. The customer service skills need to be on point. It's not just about going in and teaching and then that's it, you're leaving. So personality is massive. So we go over all that. We go over like the new client experience. We go over how we retain like retention of current members as well. And then we go into like programming classes, queuing styles. We talk a lot about evidence-based, like what's up to date at the moment. We've been actually just talking about strength training as well, because that seems to be a bit of a buzzword at the moment out there in the industry. So we went over that yesterday. Pre and postnatal injury management. Yeah, so it's quite a big day, and we just cover everything all at once. And then from there, they get given a senior instructor as their mentor, and they basically shadow the senior instructor and help them, or come in prior to their classes and just see how, like the whys and the how they're doing it, and then watch them teach the class.
Yep.
And then they start to plan their own classes, and we just do free community classes for our members. So we say, hey, this is a new instructor. She's like brand new. Might not be the best class ever, or it could be, but it might not be the best class ever. But it's a free class if you come along, and then they get to teach the members and then provide feedback to me at the end of the class. And we do that until the instructor feels confident and comfortable enough to say, all right, I can do this on the schedule, and I've agreed that that's the right time to do it, and their mentors agreed that that's right as well.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's a little bit of a process, and some people are quite quick through that process, and then other people just take their time, which is completely fine. Like, I don't have like a deadline, like you need to be teaching on the class schedule within 3 weeks. Like, you just take your time until you're confident and comfortable enough to stand up there in the room on the regular schedule. Yep. Mm.
So do you organise that for off-peak times, or is that just in like a standard time on the?
No, just off peak. We'll throw it on. Like, we don't have 7:15 p.m. classes, so we'll do like a 7:15 p.m. or a midday or something like that. Yeah, yep. And I reach out to our members that have been with us for quite some time that I know give honest feedback as well, because some members just go, oh, they were lovely. That was a fantastic class, but they want to say more. Like, they're itching to say more. So I reach out to members who I know are like very transparent with me and will tell me up front, like straight up what their thoughts of the class was. And Yep.
Cool. So you take on board that feedback, and then you share that. You share it with the mentor as well.
Yep. Yeah. So we all sit down and have a discussion about it. Yep. Yeah.
Good. Wow. Yeah, it sounds like you got a really good process there. I like the fact that you're getting the senior instructors involved, because that kind of makes it like the more experience they get in training trainers, then eventually the whole process becomes pretty much automated. And there's more than one person who knows exactly what it needs to be. So expansion would be a lot easier then. Because I think anyone who tries to do expansion without having solid processes in training, it's just a disaster. Just a disaster. Because there's no way to get consistency. And everyone needs to be like reading from the same page. So I love that. How long did that take to figure out how to do it like that?
So it wasn't really until, like I said, about 18 months ago that we brought it in, because I hadn't needed to because our team being so small. It was probably only about 5 of us, and I was the one just doing all of that work. Like, I would, if we had a new instructor come on, I would be the one that would just sit down with them for that day and talk about everything, and then I would be the mentor basically. But I wanted to take a huge step back from that role, obviously to focus more on the business side of things. So I created that system. So, and it's worked really well so far. It's worked brilliantly. So and I always try and pair the newer instructors up with the senior instructor, that like their personalities won't clash basically. So that they suit each other as well, and that they can be open and honest and authentic with each other. With the feedback.
So it's interesting when you start off, because you pretty much have to do every single job, and then you have to show someone else how to do that job. And so you feel like that you're comfortable with letting go of some of these tasks?
Yeah.
You are?
Finally.
Good.
I'm very much like, I like to be in control, and and it was a big step back. Like I said, about 18 months ago, I thought, I can't do this all. I just cannot. And like, I've got the 3 kids as well, and it was just getting a lot. It was just too much. So finally having to take that step back and bringing on more instructors so that I could teach less. So I actually only teach on a Saturday morning now, which I actually haven't done since November because of this new build. I've been too busy. But to be able to then focus on the business side as well. And that's when we saw a lot of growth. It's funny because people said, oh, well, I thought if I stopped teaching, then the members would be turned away because they wanted me to teach. You know what I mean? Like, they were like, oh, I want the owner of the studio to be teaching me. But the minute I stepped back and started working on the back end of the business a little bit more, that's when we saw a huge amount of growth as well. And getting all those like systems and processes in place with the new instructors and training them.
When you say huge amount of growth, what were the tangible differences from putting your time into the business as opposed to the classes?
Our membership numbers grew like quite a lot. So our membership numbers grew. We were at class capacity with the schedule that we had, so we had to add more classes onto the schedule. And that's when we started thinking about obviously moving and relocating as well and adding more modalities to it. So, and then obviously that meant we had to add more instructors into the mix because we had increased the class schedule. And we're still growing because we're still at class capacity as well. So, yeah, yep.
Bursting at the seams.
Yeah. Yep.
How many reformers are there at the moment?
So we've got 13. We started with 10. That was another thing we did. We were adding reformers and we added right up to 13 and that was it. Like that was as many as we could put in that room. So when we move to the new studio, we're going to have 14. Yep. And that's the max amount we'll be able to have there. But
Okay. Yep. And I imagine the capacity for hot mat's pretty big.
Yes. Yep. So we'll be able to have 22.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, so multiple classes running at the same time. And you're going to have cold plunge as well at the back.
Well, we haven't decided on that just yet. I am still looking into that. My husband really wants one. He's really big on the cold plunges. I know we're definitely going to have a sauna and we'll just have to look.
It's like a dry sauna?
The infrared. Yep. So it's funny because I've been asking around about other studio owners. I love reaching out to other studio owners and just seeing what works for them as well. And a lot of them have said that the cold plunge doesn't work, but the sauna is a big tick. Like that's definitely something worth investing in. Yep.
Yeah. I can only speak for myself really, but I love them so much. The dry ones and the steam ones are my favourite. But everyone seems to be on it. I mean, I think the health benefits are pretty well established, but apart from that, it just feels amazing too.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you had to get that, imagine doing workout and then get that too. It's a dream, hey?
Yeah. Yeah, well, we've really thought out everything in the studio as well. I think because we've already had the studio and also working in Melbourne at different studios. And like I said, I reach out to so many studio owners and say, hey, what's working for you? What's not working for you? And we have brought in all these other little elements to just make it a little bit more luxe as well. So one of those elements is actually vitamin C infused shower heads.
What?
Yeah. So it's not actually orange juice coming out of the shower head. I think everyone immediately imagines that. And it doesn't smell like citrus or anything, but it's amazing for your skin and hair. So especially after you've just done a hot mat class or you've been in the sauna and your pores are opened up.
Yep.
Jumping in a shower after that with the vitamin C infused shower head. Yep.
So, I never heard that in my life.
Yeah. It's I heard it on a podcast actually, listening to a studio over in America.
Okay.
Yeah, and I looked into it and I was like, oh, they're just starting to pop up here in Australia. So yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, I'll have to try that.
Yep.
I wonder, is it a noticeable difference in smell or a feeling? Or?
In smoothness of your skin and just your hair quality. Yes. Yep. So yep.
Okay. Wow.
Yep.
Yeah. No.
So yeah, they'll all be in the shower. I won't be able to get them out now. I want to close the studio. I'll be knocking on the door saying, guys, I want to go home. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. No, that's awesome. Just taking a moment to think about that. It's such an interesting idea that you could infuse that into a shower head. Huh. Yep. If you were going to go back in time 18 months and just before you made this decision to kind of step away and focus on the business more, if you could speak to yourself and kind of give yourself a game plan on why to do it and how to do it, what would you actually say now having done it?
I think it's just the courage to just do it, to not worry about the what ifs. And I think I put it off for so long because I thought that that's what was driving the business, was me teaching the classes and being really involved in the studio. It's not that I didn't I didn't trust my instructors. I love my instructors. They're the best. I love them so much. I just thought that if I take away that element of myself that's been there from the day the doors opened, that our members know and love, are they going to go, oh, that's not what I signed up for, I'm out? But just to tell myself that there's so much more potential in growth for the studio if you do step back and start focusing a little bit more on the business side of things, and that it's going to be okay, everything's going to keep running smoothly. I think that's mostly,
I think that's probably the number one roadblock for studio owners out there, because they I think they call it key man problem, where if you're the one that's always in that position, you kind of, it's not really a business, it's actually just an employee working for yourself,
Exactly.
So to actually be able to do that, to find a way to step away, like, it's pretty impressive, because everything you did to that point to get you there, now you can't do that to continue. The only way to grow is to actually change everything you've done, which has worked. So like, that's quite like a scary step in a way.
Yeah, it's a massive step, and it took a lot of preparation as well. So like, it wasn't just overnight. It was like a good 6 months of work to get everything, all the systems and processes in place to be able to take that step away as well. So, it was a scary jump, but it was absolutely needed, because otherwise I was just going to be so burnt out, and like, the business was just going to stay stagnant. And I had all these big ideas and big visions and big plans, and it just wasn't going to happen. I'd had no time to do it. Yep.
Yeah, you strike me as someone who's quite competitive. I imagine you were like playing sport and stuff in your younger, like competitive sport.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. Fun fact, I was actually sport aerobics. I never came first in Australia, but the national titles, second and third. Yep. So that was my thing I did when I was younger. And I've always been into sport and fitness. Yep.
Yeah. It's good to be able to channel that into something like that kind of passion.
Yep.
Because if you kind of like that and you're not in any environment where you can kind of be challenged, it's kind of like the worst thing ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to take that, so what was that? Was it like a kind of dancing kind of gymnastics, or what is it?
There's a few like clips getting around on Instagram at the moment of like, they're in leotards and they're jumping around and doing like, they do splits and then push-ups and that sort of thing. So so it was in a team, and we'd get up, and I think it was like a minute 45. Had to hit like 5 criteria on the stage and smile, and
I'd imagine smiling when you're like breathing that hard would be pretty
so
hard.
Yeah. We used to actually rub Vaseline on our teeth so that we wouldn't close our top lip.
Really?
Yeah, because it was all like yuck. So we'd be like, little trick, yeah. So, but I loved it. So I grew up doing that. I started that when I was 9 years old. So I was doing like push-ups at 9 years old.
Wow.
It's crazy. Yeah, Mum's got the video of it. Push-ups and sit-ups and everything. So, yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's it's incredible actually how strong kids can be. Like, I used to train boys gymnastics back in the day.
Yep.
And you're in the gym and you see like young girls, young boys, like in like a V set, just like going up and down ropes and doing like incredible stuff,
Yeah.
So it's a really amazing, like, bodyweight training for younger kids is awesome.
Great. Yeah. My daughter's really into like Pilates. Well, she likes to think she is, and wants to like be an instructor when she grows up. So it's very cute. But she'll just jump on the reformer or on the ground and like copy things that we do. So it's
so
really
cute.
and she's only 7 years old. So but she's so strong. It's insane. Yep.
So how do you handle 3 kids, a husband, and then this business that keeps on growing? Like, what is it? The time management must be. Do you have like everything identified every day, like planned out, or is it kind of? How do you do it?
Yeah, I feel like from my nursing days, my time management is really good. But we have like an app on our phone between my husband and I, like a calendar app that basically we've got everything in there that we need to do, and it'll just pop up and alert us at the time, like half an hour before we need to be doing it.
Really?
Yeah,
That's cool.
it's much needed. Otherwise, we'd forget the kids and leave them at school or something. I've got so much going on in my brain. So I mean, it's challenging. It's definitely tested us. I feel like, though, the older the kids are getting, they're a little bit easier because the twins are in school now. My youngest is in kindergarten. So we're getting a few more days where we don't have the kids around, and we've got such supportive, like my parents and Brad's parents are so supportive. They'll jump in and help out, with the kids and stuff. So, yep.
That's
but
awesome.
it's a juggle. A lot of people say to me, I don't know how you do it. And I honestly don't know either. I just do it. Yep. Take each day as it comes. Yep.
Well, that system that you have of using that calendar that you both have access to, that's a great idea.
Yeah, it's absolutely saved us. We love it. So
what is that called?
It's called like a family calendar or something like that. But
Okay.
as the kids get older, they can have access to it as well, and so they can put in their things and
Okay.
yeah.
Cool.
Mm.
Yeah. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So, you said the studio is opening up. Is it 7 weeks?
A couple of weeks.
Couple of weeks. 3 weeks. 4
Yeah,
weeks.
yeah. So we're hoping the first Saturday in February.
Okay.
Mm.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, this podcast will be out by then, so
Oh,
that's
there
amazing
you go.
timing.
Yeah. Thank you. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really it's actually starting. I'm starting to get nervous. I must admit, it's coming together. Like even my husband looked at me yesterday and said, "We don't have much to go. Like we're very close." And I was like, "I know it's so funny after 2 years of having these dreams and visions and all the work that you do to get to that point, and then you're there. It's just such a weird feeling." Starting to get a little bit nervous and
Oh,
yeah.
that's
But
awesome.
nerves are good. I always say nerves are really good. Means you care. So
Yeah.
yep.
That's
Mm.
amazing. That's its excitement, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited for you too.
Thank
and I
you.
really can't wait to see this grand opening. Is there anything exciting you got planned for the day?
Yeah, so we'll do an opening on a Saturday, and we'll run classes pretty much all morning, depending on the demand for the classes. We did a pre-sale for some VIP memberships as well, so for non-members that want to come in as a member, and we'll launch the intro offers as well prior to that opening, so that we kind of have an idea of just how many people are going to be there. But all my instructors are on standby. I said, do not leave town. You're not going on holidays. If you've got your kid's birthday party, cancel it. No. I was like, I need you here just in case, because we'll just schedule classes as the demand is there. And we'll have the coffee shop will be pumping. We'll have the acai bowls, smoothie bar going.
Yes.
All the classes
I love acai
going.
bowls.
Yeah, yep. So, it'll be hopefully a really fun day.
So you still have the original location running right now?
Yes, yep.
And you're going to run it all the way until the next one opens and just shift everyone over?
We'll have to close down for about 4 days to just move everyone, the equipment, the props, the reformers and things.
Okay.
We're going to put a little thing out on Instagram and just say, hey, is anyone around? We've already had, our members are so wonderful. They've said, oh, I've got a trailer, or I've got a ute, I'll come and help. And even one member said, I'll take the rings and then I'll go and dump them at the local tip. I said, no, you won't. But so we've had so many people offer to help, and I think we will. The community's behind us to help us move. So I mean, it's literally just 500 meters down the road, so a lot of the stuff can be walked.
It's just an extra training, guys.
Yeah, well, I said if you want your reformer at the new studio, because everyone's got their own reformer, I said you have to come and get it and move it yourself. And that's the way to get them all down there. So yeah. But so we'll close for 4 days. We're going to just do a VIP evening where we invite all our current members along to the studio, just of an evening once everything's there, probably the Thursday before we open. And they can get to come in and have a look. They've been with us for years, so they can come and have a little sneak peek first, get a feel for the place. And then we'll open on the Saturday. Mm.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, well done to you and Brad. That's awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Really excited for you guys. And thank you so much for coming on the podcast today.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
No worries.
Yeah.